Hello and welcome back to Rick's Kits. This is another live stream on the Tamiya 1/48th scale Nakajima KI84, otherwise known to the Allies as Frank. And excuse me. I left it last week pondering the colour for the inside of the aircraft. And the call out was basically same colour as applies to the inside of fuselage. Now, I wasn't quite sure on what or where to go with that one. So, as I said in the previous live stream, I would check on the old internet and find out what we should be applying, because on some of the instructions it says the inside is flat black. I thought that was a bit weird for the entire interior of the fuselage and the cockpit area, etc. So I made some inquiries on the old internet, had a look at a few forums devoted to Japanese aircraft, etc. Looked at a few pictures of World War II colour images. Whether they were colorized, I don't know, but it would appear that the Japanese army, who these aircraft were used by primarily, according to some people on the old interwebs, they used a primer, saving on paint, obviously, because resources were low. So they applied this primer, and it was called Hayate. And I thought, okay, what on earth is Hayate when it's at home? Well, I googled it, and it came up with a primer where it's like a metallic blue or a blue type primer, and apparently it can be other colours. So looking at other aircraft, and you know, the Zero and stuff like that, you can see that there's this blue in the undercarriage area and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, well, perhaps this must be this primer. And along with the information for the forums, it would appear that yes, the blue colour that is on the aircraft is in fact Hayate and is a primer. Now, people were going on about green in the forums as well as a primer, and this sort of confused me because I always thought there was a cockpit greeny look about it, but apparently when this Hayate, this blue primer, ages, it sort of fades to green. I thought that was quite weird. So I won't do it green. I'm going to do it in the blue, because I have a Tamiya. I purchased a Tamiya colour for it, which is metallic blue. Never sprayed this one on before, so it should be quite interesting. But what I have decided to do is I'm going to distress the cockpit slightly inside, and I've gone with the old salt effect, which you put some. You'll see I've actually sprayed the aircraft is actually sprayed flat aluminium, which is one of the metal paints from the MiG range, And the MIG number on that, if you want to know it, is 0194, which is matte aluminium. There you go. MIG 0194 metal paints. They're really nice to spray. Very nice to spray. So yeah, I have gone in. You can see salt crystals sitting on the cockpit. So we're going to spray over that with the blue on both sides. I've also sort of painted black in here as well, very loosely, because we've got to apply that decal in 2 halves, which I am a little bit concerned might actually fall to pieces because of the age of the decals. And I've also dropped some, I wish I hadn't painted this silver just yet, dropped some salt crystals in and around the cockpit area as well. So that was going to get a blue. Let's put this very shiny out of the way for a minute, because that's a lot of shiny is too much. The engine, the radio engine, I used the flat aluminium on this one as well, but I then went over all the cylinders with the black Tamiya panel line accent colour, just to darken it up a bit, make it look a bit more metallic-y, and bring out those cylinders. And the other thing I have done, which I sort of didn't follow the kit, was to put the top and bottom halves of the wings together. Again, I've sprayed on the inside of the undercarriage wheel wells, put an aluminium colour in there. So I'm going to mix up some flat aluminium paint. I've also got to knock these back because these wings don't quite fit very well. They're all nice and square on the back end, but on the front end there's not. There's a bit of a ridge, so I've got to knock those back. Where I took one off at a sprue gate, it sort of ate a piece of the plastic with it. That's my carelessness on that one, I'm afraid. So let's crack on and spray this up. I might need to just quickly try and bring my camera controls up, because the problem I have is, after all this time, I still don't know how to manage my camera very well. Especially as it's silver, it's going to be a bit of a pain to sort of focus with it. So bear with me one moment while I just sort this little issue out. Let's have a look, see if we've got what I want. Yeah, I can focus in, I can focus out. Can't move anywhere at the moment with the camera. There you go. That's where we're at. You hear me clicking? That's going to be the mouse. Right, I've got here in my compressor. That may kick back in again. My ratio is, right, this one's got Tamiya thinner in it, X20A, and as the paint's almost like thinned milk anyway, I put about 2 or 3 drops of 20A in, and then about half of that with the paint that I'm going to use. So Let's give it a bit of a shake. Never sprayed this one before. So it should be interesting. Oh, got itchy nose. Blimey, I can't get this lid off. Oh, old hands. Oh, it's quite nice. Typical Tamiya smell. So let's see what we get out of here, shall we? I like the colour of that. That's quite a nice blue. Give it a whirl. Get the mix going. It might be pretty thin, so we'll see how that triggers up. But it's quite nice. It is quite a nice blue on its own. Clean it up with water. Right, I want to see what. Let's find a bit of plastic card. Give it a splosh on. Yeah, it's quite nice, that colour. So, compressor kicking in. Right, let's give this a coat. I'll try and do that in focus if I can. Blow all the salt off. Crikey. Bloody hell, really? Might have to turn that down. A bit too low. Let's come from a higher angle. Somehow I'm not sure that it's going to work very well. Yeah, I think this is we're a bit too wet, I think. Just around the tail area. It's a nice blue, but I think I messed up really. No, I think I'll leave that for a sec because that ain't doing what I want it to do. That's the colour it should be. Not that flimsy ass. Well, you can't really see it very well, but it's not very blue. Come from here. That's slightly better. Right, what I do need though is that area. Everything's on camera. See what I'm doing. So we've got this area, and then we've got there and there. There's the blue. Where the blue should be on the undercarriage. Sure, I'll find out what that piece is. I'm going to let that one dry. I need to change to black. Matte black. It's got to do the front of. No, I would have thought it would have been the same primer, but apparently not. Inside of the engine area is black. Right, you have to bear with me while I deal with this. Because it's a metallic colour, it's going to leave nasty metallic particles everywhere. But it's a nice colour. It is a nice blue. I do like it. Do like that. So you wouldn't be wrong if you did spray the interior with a green, because apparently when this primer goes off, it goes off and it goes a green colour, so you wouldn't be wrong doing that. Let me fully clean this brush out. Let's put that to one side to dry. Do need is that part. This part I need. Gonna need that as well at some point soon. Top of the counting, right? What was I doing? Oh yeah, finish cleaning this airbrush out before it gets too ingrained. And get rid of these salt crystals that I've got everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Covered in salt crystals. Might use my airbrush cleaner for this moment in time. Or Mr. Tool Cleaner R. Recommend that one. Stinks to high heaven, but it cleans. I had an old Badger airbrush that was given to me by my dad. It's what he used to use on doing his models many moons ago, before it was unfortunate that his sight was taken in one eye by the old cancer. So he gave me his Badger airbrushes. They've been sitting up in the loft for God knows how many years, and I think the last time he used it, he didn't clean it out properly. So there was a lot of gloss enamel paint stuck in one of the pots. Now, bearing in mind that I never used it because of that. He gave that to me about 10 years ago. His eyesight's been gone for probably 15-20 years, maybe longer. So I would say the enamel's been in that pot for a long time. I put Mr. Cleaner through it, Mr. Cleaner R, for about an hour. There we go, that's better. Gave it about an hour and, well, let me find the little pot for you. I can't give you what it was looking like before, but I can certainly show what it's like after. So I may be able to use the Badger airbrush again at some point. Oh, crikey. Hang on, hold tight. That one. So yeah, if you can imagine, that was absolutely black and blue, caked in enamel, dried enamel for about 20 odd years. That is now a usable pot again. And the same with this one. This needs a little bit more. Yeah, that's what Mr. Cleaner R does. Really does clean that pot out. Cleaning salt crystals everywhere. Crikey, really. Right, so let's clean this up a bit. Let's use a non-aggressive sander. How are the crystals in there? Forget that. See that one? I am literally all fingers and thumbs today. I'm bashing the buttons on the controller on Valhalla, Assassin's Creed. Do like that game. Very nice game. But I thought I'd better get in here and do what I said I was going to do, which is build a kit. Let's square these up. So we do have a little bit of flash, but not dramatic. Let's see, the kit is 1972. I think I said it was 1972. So it's going to have a few little flaws, but again, nothing too dramatic. Yeah, sort of, but didn't work. This is going straight out of the box. OOB. Water to get these crystals away. Sort of worked. I'm dropping it on the tabletop. Don't think you can see that much. There you go. So, a bit of wear and tear around the foot, where the feet are on the cockpit. Good. Dear me. It's too shiny for this. Too shiny. So yeah, that sort of worked. I think I might have to go in with a little bit of silver paint and top it up a bit. So we can get rid of these. Work better on here. If you can see that, it worked better than there. Bit too big. Bit big in some places. Let's burst some air onto that. Get rid of the salt. So yeah, that's not too bad. Looks pretty worn down to the aluminium. Again, places chock-a-block with damn salt. Obviously, there are other methods you can use. You've got a hairspray method, which works very similar. Or all the pre-bought stuff that the big companies would have you buy. Chipping fluids. I do have, no, I haven't got a chipping fluid. I've got a crackle fluid somewhere. Wrinkles up the paint to make it look worn and distressed. I don't know. Oh, crikey! Excuse me. Yawning away here. I don't know what I've done with that. It's around somewhere. Right, so I'm happy with that. Got the chip effect inside the cockpit that I'm after. Trying to get that so you can see it. There you go. Both sides. Covered everything in sea salt. Be finding that for a few days now. Sitting on it and getting into bits and pieces. So we'll shut the lid up on that. We'll find a home for that at some point. Good God. It's everywhere. Right, so let's drop that to one side for a minute to dry. Oh no, I need the front of those. I don't need that for a sec. And I don't need that for a sec. I do need that. I need... Where are you? Flecked Black XF1. Just to do the inside of here. And in the front of these two. I won't put those in the way of that for the sec. And when we come round to do the main paint, it's all going to be silver. It's all going to have a base coat of silver down. I'll use the flat aluminium again. I might use the polished. No, shall I use polished? No, I'll use the flat aluminium. So that would be the main framework colour. Then we'll go down with the old sea salt again. And we'll chip up the front of the aircraft. I need some more flat black. I have got not much left. That's about it. And I can't get the lid back on. There we go. To preserve what I've got. So, Tindly windly drop. One drop I reckon of that. Because there's not much paint in there. There we go. Give that a stir. Spray the inside of that. No, okay. So thinking could probably do with grinding up the rest of that engine really. I might add some Agrax Earthshade to it. Make it look a bit dirty. Right, let's see how we get on with this. Let's go down a pair of grips. Do these. There we go, that's that one. Should I do that? Nah. Right, let's get the back on the front of this engine area. It's so easy. That should be okay. So what we'll do, get small enough hole in there. Makes it a little bit dirtier as well. Also, doesn't matter on that, because that's got to be black. I'd sort of hand painted that, but didn't look very good. Now it looks better. So let me think. Well, I need to find a brown for the handle of the control stick. I need the Agrax Earthshade out to dirty up that engine a bit more. I can use that probably on the inside of the cockpit area as well to give it a bit more dirt and grime. Yeah, let's do that. So to the airbrush. Let's do that. Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to find a brown for the control lever. What else do we need? Oh, I don't know. It's getting a bit confusing. Right, X-Rex. Oh, cold. X-Rex. X-Rex. Intrax. X-Rex. Agrax Earthshade is a Citadel Miniatures. They call it a shade. It's very similar to a wash. What it will do is it'll leave the area flat Sometimes it's best to go over a couple of times. Normally when I'm using Agrax Earthshade, I'll use it with Nuln oil, give it that extra dirty, dark, dirty look in places. Always a bugger to mix up properly. It goes to the bottom of the pot. So I'm going to chuck that on. We're going to get that on the engine. Get that on the cockpit floor. Get that on the cockpit sides. Let's use this Citadel brush. Cheap and nasty brushes. So this really needs. We'll pick that out in silver on there afterwards, where the pedals are. Just get around. Let's see. So it's staining that up nicely. Let's go a little bit in the seat as well, I think. A bit grimy, shall we? Make it grimy. So it's the trouble when using metallics. Gee, I tell you what, all fingers and thumbs, and my words are all muffled and fumbled. Because one of the other things that I read on in amongst the forums and things on Japanese aircraft, they weren't very well maintained. We see that from some of the photos of some of the aircraft, and like all the paint's almost gone from the outside. Now, obviously, that's down to not having resources and fighting off America in the Pacific. It's better. Not sure if you can actually see that or not, because all the shiny. So begs me to think that a lot of their stuff surely they weren't entirely true of all their stuff. So that's Agrax Earthshade going on, making that really dirty. Nice dirty brown. Nice dirty brown. Need to get that to dry a bit now. Right. What can we do? Or what can I do? Sorry. While that is drying out. Sing you a song. No, I'm only joking. Good God. I wouldn't want to hurt your ear rolls, not with my voice. It sounds like someone murdering a cat. I don't know what to do. Because all that's got to dry now properly. And I'm going to be going for about just over 45 minutes. I suppose I could tidy up the front end of that lead edge on that wing. That's going to be a bit boring, isn't it? Oh, no, don't know where that went. Cover for me brush. Yes, I do. I can see it from here. I just want to say a big thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for helping make this channel what it is. I appreciate you. Need a new chair. Gonna fall off this one. If there's anything you'd like to see me do, bear in mind that it really needs to take my fancy more than anything. I do figures. I do tanks. I do trucks. I do cars. I do ships. I do planes. Don't really do spacey type stuff. I have done fantasy, like the Warhammer stuff. I sort of want to know what you guys want to see. At the moment, I'm sort of, how can I put it? I'm sort of clutching at straws at what to do. So I'm putting out content that I think you want to see, but do you want to see it, or do you want to see something else? When this plane's done, is there something else you want to see before I go back into another piece of armour? Do you want me to do a larger figure? Do you want me to show you how to put together frill tracks, or I need to know what you want, really. Otherwise, all I'm going to do is carry on doing what I want. And that probably is not going to grow the channel. So, any sort of thoughts, leave a comment down below and let me know. I'll try my best to get around to doing it scratch building. Please don't ask me to do any scratch building. I've had a go at that many moons ago, and I just really am rubbish at scratch building. So that's one thing where that's not on the list. I may add PE and stuff like that, but yeah, I can't build stuff from scratch. It won't work. I'm not that technically minded. Let me think. What else have I got that? 1/48 scale Russian tank. I've got gaming figures that I can paint up. Uh, 1/35 figures, obviously, 1/10 busts, 1/12 busts, 1/9 busts. A load of German armour. Aeroplanes, Airfix Tamiya, Hobby Boss. Who's that other one? The Profi Pack ones. Who's it? God, I can't think of who it is. Edard, that's it, Edard. I've got 1/32 scale, 1/48 scale, 1/35 scale. Don't do much 1/72 or 1/76. Don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys to route that one. Give me some sort of idea what I can do to pique your interests or keep you interested. So the engine's quite dirty. It's a lot grubbier than it was. It leaves it a bit flatter in colour as well. So yeah, crack surf shades. Good God, that shade colours work quite well with that. What else? I can't do much else on this for the minute until that interior dries. I need to find a brown now to do that. I think leather brown I do. That's the point. There must be a headrest somewhere for this whole pilot's head. Where would that be? Found it. Tiny little piece on that sprue. That's going to be a red brown. So we'll use. Oh God! Mixing paints is a pain. There we go. Is that gone? It might be too small a brush, but I'll have to do. Drag the excess off me. Lovely. That's done. Let's do this guy's headrest. Don't lose it. I'm going to leave it on the sprue until we need to attach it. I need a couple of coats on this one. There's no primer, going straight onto plastic. So one side, it shouldn't take too long for that one to dry. That'll be quite quick. Do need is also not fun. There it is. Do I deal with that afterwards? Right, actually, this cockpit canopy is very scratched. Now, whether I'm going to be able to do this without messing it up, I don't know. It'd be the first. But I was shown how to get rid of scratches in canopies. You don't use a very abrasive paper, sandpaper. You use something with quite a high grit on it. If you can understand what I'm saying. So, get me paintbrush back in me thingy. What we're looking at is right. This one, this sandpaper is 1200 grit. This one is even thinner. That's 1500 grit. And then this got this really, really thin one, which is 2000 grit. Now, to get the scratches out, what you have to do, let's put that one away, for the time being. Let's have a... The problem I've got here is these are raised. These are raised canopy lines. So it might be futile for me to do it. Now, this is a rubber pad. I wonder if there's a bigger canopy. Yeah, I think this is a bit futile to do that. But I can show it elsewhere if I've got another spare canopy lying around. I'm sure. I have get it off a 1/24 scale canopy. This isn't clean at all, this one. Let me go over it with a little bit of IPA to start with. Just clean the dirt off. And I'll give you a rough idea of how to do canopy cleaning if you're brave enough. So what I might do is I might just put not a terrible odd scratch, but like a surface scratch. Let's give this a clean with some IPA. It's been sitting up there for ages. It's covered in dust. Dust and dirt. Might be able to see if there's any scratches on it then. Right. Dry it off. It's not a very clear canopy, but it is an Airfix 1/24 ME109 canopy. It's extremely pitted. That'll do. We're not actually going to use that. Right, so what I'm going to do is going to lightly scratch. So I've got a very light scratch on that now. But you're definitely not going to see. You might just pick it up. No, it's not going to happen. Right, I've got a very light scratch. Runs across here. You see it? You can see it there. Very tiny scratch. See it? What I'm going to do is we're going to take that off, take that out. We're going to sandpaper and buff it out. So on this side of this buffing pad, which is a ladies out of a ladies manicure set, by the way, is probably about 800 grit on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buff across the top of that scratch. So this is what I was shown. So bearing in mind I'm doing this on a canopy that I'm not going to use, we'll see if what I was shown actually works. Right, so let's turn that off. Don't want that going off while I'm trying to talk to you. I think if I can bear with me one sec. Right, let's take autofocus off. Let's try and get this so we can, so I can show you properly what's going on here. But no, that's too much. Right, so yes, you can see there was a scratch running across here. There still is a little bit on there. Now this is all fuzzed up. Right, so basically it's totally useless now, as it is. But that's the thing, you see. We're going to take the buffer and then we're going to buff, which is the rubber side, by the way. And we're going to buff the canopy. You can hear it squeaking, which means it's doing its job. Obviously, you don't want to create too much friction, otherwise you might end up breaking the plastic of the canopy, which ain't going to do. But that's doing its job. Now I'm going to have another look at this, and I can still see a bit of a scratch just where my thumb is. Can't see it on the camera very well, I don't think, but there is a tiny little bit of a scratch there. So I'm going to go back over with that about 800 grit just in that one spot. And this has seen better days, by the way, this buffer, but I still use it. So I'm going to do that until that's gone. Right, so now it's gone. I'm going to go back in with the buffer and we're going to buff it up. And you think that's still pretty damn fuzzy. It's not very good to use as a canopy. So you then go to your much bigger grit, like your 1200, and you do the same again. Go back over the top. That takes another thin layer off. And then you buff up again. In fact, this probably is more than I should have used in the first place. Then after that one, you go in with another very, very fine grit. So this is a 1500. Getting finer still. And then you buff again. And it's getting cleaner. So I'm actually, this pad is probably I would say about 2,000 to 3,000 grit on this pad, as opposed to what I said earlier, 800. And we buff, and we buff, and we sand, and we buff. Probably more buffing than we would sand. Until the scratch is gone and the glass is a lot clearer. Before you couldn't really see my finger in it, now you can see my finger in it. And that scratch that I put in there is totally gone. You can do with a few other little buffing moments. And we could probably wipe the IPA across that as well. But basically that's what I was showing. It does work. But you've got to invest in the time in doing it. And if you're brave enough to do it. I was just experimenting. I don't recommend doing it. Because it's a bit nerve-wracking, I think. You can be brave enough to take that challenge on. By all means, go ahead and do it. Oh, Christ. Excuse me. What are you yawning for? I had quite a good night's sleep last night. So let's have a look now at this. Yeah, that's dry and very dirty. See that? Or it's still too shiny for you to see. I don't know. It's definitely grimy. It's definitely dirty. Let's see if we can try and focus that in for you so you can see it better. There we go. Yes? No? Oh, there, I've got it. Dirty brown colour against the blue, and primer scratched off down to aluminium colour. So it's doing what it says on the box. Okay, so with that on there, that's done there. I need a little bit of silver, I think. A little tittle of silver. Let's go with a flat aluminium just to do those pedals, and then I'm going to chuck the cockpit. No, whoa, whoa, cowboy. Need to get those decals on, don't we? That's what we need to do. And this will be the first step to seeing whether these decals actually work still, or whether they're complete rubbish after. Was it 97? It's about 30 or 40 years. I think it'll probably disintegrate into pieces. Even disintegrate. That's not doing what I was going to do, is it? Finish what you was doing first, Richard. What am I doing? Draft paper. Where on this? Where on this chair? There on the chair, right there. Oh God, really showing your age. Right, okay. Plus, it would be nice to have some interaction on one of these streams for a change. So there's nothing worse than talking to yourself. Right, I need to go and find some water. I also need to split this decal down the middle. This is the time before full panels, cockpit panels. Oop. There you go. Straight down the middle. Let's get some water for this decal. Be right back. Okay, so we've got our tepid water. Dump that decal in there. That paint soak. Sunk right to the bottom. For old paper, it doesn't absorb the water very well. Interesting. Right, I'm going to pre-prep. Where are we? Come here. Let's chuck some micro set on there. And we'll put that on with a brush. I need the other one out as well. Stuff stinks, doesn't it? Old micro set. Microsol. Pongs. Pongs horribly. Right, so oops. Chuck that water all over it then. Right. I need something to get the decal out other than my fingers. Hey, come on. Yeah, man. Yeah, you come. There we go. Alright, it's a moment of truth. Ooh. So there's hope. There's hope for the rest of those decals. So I may not have to spray the other ones. Very careful. Wow. There you go, you see it here. That decal it's got some age to it. And has literally gone down with no problem at all. Let's see what the other half does. Oh, it's coming apart. That is coming apart. Right, I do have to be careful here. Because this is going to fall apart, this part. I'm still impressed. I'm still impressed. For a decal that is 72. Yeah, for 40-year-old decal. It's gone down very nicely. Wicked. Wicked, 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 wicked. Right, so I'm going to wash that decal solution off. Impressed. I'm easily impressed. Very easily impressed. 40-year-old decal on a 40-year-old kit. I'm impressed that it actually went down and didn't disintegrate into 1,000 million little pieces. And only 1,000 million, not 1,000,000. Even if, oh dear. Okay. Fingers. 40-year-old decal. Oh yeah. All that to one side. Right. That attaches in there. Let's drop some gloopy gloop in. And make an attempt to close up the fuselage. Now, one issue I'm going to have is with this engine area. Because that doesn't meet there. So let's drop a bit of glue just in there to hold that steady for the moment. What am I putting a lid back on it for? I need all this out. Oh. There we go. Back in you go. Ah, for God's sake. Go in there and behave. Alright. Let's get this trickery underway. Because as you can see, it doesn't meet on the bottom. It's warped. So I'm going to need to drop some glue along that line. Get that squared up. He says, there we go. Run down the back of the fuselage. I think this is going to be an old-fashioned moment. I can get that engine lined up. Right, so I've got glue on there. Drop some more on the inside of there. And this is where the fun's going to start. Yeah, I did reach that. Right, I'm going to need some, before I put that together, tape. I'm going to need some tape, come on. Let's put some tape on the outside first. Run a bead of glue down the line. Tape it together. So it's starting to sort of resemble an aeroplane. And I'm going to need to put some tape across the top there. to hold the two halves together. I'm not worried if the silver comes off, because I can redo that. I will need to put that in place, he says. Looks like I might have to do some filling here and all. That don't quite sit flush. Okay, filling it is then. Filling it is. Why do that? I don't know. Tell me if I understand, but I'm not sure I do. Are we looking at this the wrong way? Am I looking at this the wrong way? I think I am. I think I have got that upside down. Perhaps that is that way. That looks better. That's better. Not gluing that on just yet, because we need it to. Or shall I? Because it doesn't sit flush on the bottom. Look at the gap. Bloody hell. Get a double-decker bus through there. Cool. Didn't know Tamiya kits were as bad as this in the 70s. Okay, let's actually glue this to this, and I'm going to worry about it. I can tidy it all up. Tidy it all up. Because it looks to me like it's going to be a fighter. Get it? Huh? Fighter? No? Okay. Perhaps not then. Not funny. This reminds me a little bit of the RE kit. REARII. That didn't fit very well on the front end. That was awful. Very disappointed with this. You need sandpaper and a bit of filler. Sort that out. So it would appear Tamiya wasn't as hot back in the 70s. Definitely not for fit in some parts. I think the kit manufacturer of the day back then that had the slight edge was Hasegawa. Might be wrong. I'm not sure if Hasegawa was actually out at that point. Well, she's another Japanese firm. Not worried about the extra plastic spurting out the side because that is going to come off. But I do need some more tape. Well, I do like that blue. That's nice. Blue is nice, isn't it? Get the cockpit to sit a little bit squarer. And we got a 40-year-old decal in there. Very impressed. Very impressed with that. It don't take much to impress me. You don't impress me much. This is sloppy. Very sloppy. That doesn't fit very well. Front end doesn't sit on very well. You've got tape holding it all together. Right, I think what we'll do is I'm going to need that to sit and dry. And a little bit of paint to dry as well. Let's temporarily get this bird on our wing. Wings on this bird, shall I say. That might persuade the glue to sit. What the hell's going on there? Sit nicely. Look at the bloody gap in that. Jesus. Nice fit on that side. Rubbish on that side. Good God. Okay, let's leave it at that. I think otherwise I know what's going to happen. I will throw a hissy fit and it will fly across the room. So I'm going to leave it. I will leave it at that. Hopefully the wings being on is going to keep it together slightly. I've got tape on it. I'll leave that 24 hours. I might come back on again tomorrow with a bit of progression, or I might just do the clean up and bits and pieces tomorrow off camera and then carry on from where we were this week to the next time I'm on. So that's it for that one. Yeah, that's it for that. During this stream, need to go and prep some dinner as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a like and a subscribe if you feel like it. Please comment on what I said earlier in the stream. If you haven't seen this as a rerun and skip past it, give me some sort of ideas on what you would like to see. Generally, Rick's kits is about me and my kits, but you know, you might not want to see loads of tanks being built. You might want to see figures being painted. You might want to see a bit of fantasy being done. I do have bits of fantasy and stuff that I can do. I've got figures that I can do. I've got aeroplanes I can do. I'm probably start a small series of pre-started, so kits that have already been started that need to be finished. So obviously you won't get to see those from the start of the build, but you'll get them. Some kits I've bought off of from model shows for pre-love stuff, but yeah, might do a small series of that. I've got some idea of what I want to do in the future. At the moment, COVID is preventing that from occurring because obviously we can't go around and see our friends and family and people that we know in the modelling world. So I've got a further series in mind. Yeah, I'm just rambling now. Anyway, thanks again. Please tune in next time. Leave a like and a subscribe. Comments below. Please be pleasant with your comments. I'll catch you in the next one.